Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Google Hangout, which is going to talk about how you go the 5 steps to online success of your marketing plan. My name's Dave Hazelhurst. I'm from an agency based in Liverpool called PH Creative, and we specialise in web design and development and digital marketing, so whether that be SEO or search advertising, social media or conversion rate optimization. And we work across various sectors, whether that be hospitality, whether it be recruitment, legal, manufacturing, from small companies all the way through to more recognised companies. And today, some of the key things that I want you to be able to take away. This is the first in a series of Hangouts that Google are going to be putting on. And we're going to look at it today at a high level of what's important for planning your marketing online through digital channels. So why it needs to be part of your plan, and how you need to budget for this, what's important. Also, it's very interactive today, so it'd be really, I'd really appreciate your comments back. So there's a hashtag, which is Google Marketing Plan, so we can follow the hashtag on Twitter or Google+. Or there's also a form on your screen. You'll see there's a screen that you can submit your comments and your questions. And what we'll do is, at the end, we'll pick out some of those questions and we can have a look and give you some answers. But I really appreciate you giving us those comments as we go along. Okay. What you need to ask yourself is, how much of your marketing mix includes online at the moment? Now, if you like a lot of companies in the UK, your marketing mix may look more like something like this at the moment. So you've got a website, but actually you're relying a lot more on traditional media. So it may be things like direct mail, it could be print advertising in newspapers, or it could be PR, and you're using those channels to generate awareness and generate sales for your business. And the byproduct is some people are coming to your website. So that's more traditional. But actually, what we're here to talk about today is how do we plan to go to online marketing, and what steps can you take to take that forward? Now, if you look at this slide here, this is a really interesting slide. This is from the Internet Advertising Bureau. And in 2011, what we can see here is that internet marketing was the biggest spend in the UK in terms of advertising, at 14%. And what we can also see there is that the other 2 channels that have actually grown is direct mail and TV, but then everything else on that screen has declined. Now, when clients come and ask us about this, it's really fascinating, because the simple question I ask them is, when was the last time you yourself actually purchased something by looking at something in an advert in a newspaper? Or on there, the cinema, I mean, that's got the biggest decline there. When was the last time you went to the cinema and go, do you know what? I'm going to go and buy that product. I'm going to go and use that service. It doesn't happen. And that's right at the beginning of this buying cycle, right over here where we're trying to plant something in somebody's mind. But with digital, we can take them and grab those potential customers much further down the buying cycle where they're more ready to buy. So, that tells us that something's going on in the internet world, and that growth tells us that there's some real successes to be had. If we look at this side, this looks at spend. So this looks at UK advertising spend in 2011. And what we can see really clearly is that the internet is the biggest spend. It's £2.25 billion in 2011. And it actually is just under a third of the spend. So you've got to ask yourself, why? Why have we seen that surge and that growth, and why does it continue to grow? And then what does it mean for your business? Okay, so let's go through some simple steps and how we can make the web work for you. If you're a company that is beginning to think about this, you're here today because you're thinking, right, maybe we do need to step into this, and what do we need to look at? First step you need to think about is, what does success look like for me? What are our goals and objectives in terms of what we're looking to achieve? Is it brand awareness? So do we want to get our brand more on the mind shelf for potential customers? Is it we've got a new product launch coming up and we want to get that product out there around an event? Is it we want to generate more direct sales online? So we want to bring traffic to the site, generate direct sales as people visit, and then build loyalty with our customers. Or maybe you just want to start conversations and build engagement through social media channels. So there's lots of different reasons why we could be doing this online, and we need to identify what success looks like. This is an interesting slide because this is talking about, well, what are our customers doing online at the moment? And it's essential to understand that. So, and what do I mean by this? I don't just mean what are they looking to buy. Okay. Now there's a great tool that Google provides. It's free. It's a Google keyword tool. If you Google it, it will come up, and it will tell you what words people type in to search online for what you sell and what you offer and what products and services. So that's what are they looking to buy, but actually what behaviours are they doing and taking to get to you to make the purchase. And so if we look at this here, 33% of people in the UK are making purchases online. 39%, I think that says, 39%. But what's really interesting here, I think, is that 64% research online. Well, just think about that. If we look at the buying cycle, they're purchasing here, but somewhere they're making decisions based on research that they're taking. So it's really important that you consider how you tap into that phase of the buying cycle. Okay, because if you like my wife, I went to Mallorca last year. She researched every hotel. I'm sure you've all looked at TripAdvisor and what people say in reviews. She was in research mode. Okay, well, how do we take advantage of that? It's really important. 31% make a purchase via their smartphone. 31%. That's really interesting. So how are we capturing that behaviour? And then if you look at the business-to-business marketplace, 74% are using brand sites. Now that behaviour is important because if you're a business-to-business, that behaviour is important because you need to be trying to build your brand online and getting it recognised and building some authority around your brand. And 90% of people making buying decisions in the business-to-business world are in research. So again, similar to consumer, it's really important that you capture that research phase. Okay, how are customers finding your website? This is something that's quite passionate to me, Google Analytics. We talked about traditional media before. Well, I bet there's not many newspaper advertisers can tell you exactly how much it costs for every time someone makes an inquiry through a newspaper ad or a radio ad. Well, with Google Analytics and digital channels, we can tell you down to the penny how much it costs to make a sale. We can measure engagement. We can measure conversion. We can get to what's known as a cost per acquisition, the cost of a sale. Now, in this instance, for example, on this screen, we can segment our traffic. So we can look at where the traffic comes from. Is it from search advertising? Is it from video ads? Is it from social media? Does it come from Google+? Is it coming from Twitter? Is it coming from Facebook? How many people type in directly the brand into the browser? So the information with Google Analytics is vital to helping you looking at your online marketing plan and what you want to achieve. Again, this is another one that I think is really important. We do a lot of work in bringing people to a website and a page because we want people to land in specific pages. But what's the experience like when they get there? When I talk about this, I often think about Tesco's. Tesco's build huge big superstores and they build Tesco's Expresses. They have similar products. The way people move around, is there availability? Can you find the product? Can you get to the till? You need to think about your website in the same way. Where do people enter into the site? What words are on that page? How are you selling and convincing that person to buy that product and to inquire about your service? Listen to what your salespeople say. How do they talk to customers? What objections do you get from customers, and how do you overcome them? Are you using the language that your customer talks? Are you talking to them in their language? What's the process like of buying online? Can they get through the checkout smoothly? Can they find what they're looking for? If you look at ASOS or Next, the big retailers online, they clearly signpost their categories and allow users to move smoothly through the site. And then this is one that catches a lot of people out, is how does your site work on a mobile device? So for example, I've got a lovely Nexus 7 here. How does your website look when it's on that screen, and obviously your smartphone? And that's really important because we don't want to have customers squeezing pages. We want the most important parts of your website having prominence on any version of a screen. So having a mobile responsive website is important. And in the real world, that would be like making sure my Tesco's Express has the right planograms and walkthroughs and people getting through to the till. So that's really important. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about how much you should spend. And of course, setting a budget is a really important step in this process, because you probably think, well, how much of my overall marketing spend should I attribute to digital if I'm not doing it before? Or even if you are doing it before, how much should you be attributing overall? And it could be that you're a local business. It could be that you're looking for inquiries that are just, like I'm from Liverpool, I might just want to be capturing inquiries from my northwest area, or it could be UK for direct sales from an e-commerce site. So what are those marketing goals? And then how do you look at prioritise your spending? And that will influence what proportion of your budget you put into a given channel, whether it's social media, whether it's search ads or display ads. And we'll look at some examples of that in the next couple of slides. So, on this slide, we've got a couple of options. So let's say you've got 100% of your marketing budget, and for this instance, let's say we take 25% of that budget and we're going to attribute it to digital, to online marketing. And here we can see it might be that you've got a product launch, you want to generate some brand awareness for your brand and penetrate into your customer base and gain engagement. Or you might want to be looking for direct sales, so online traffic to your website that's going to result in direct sales as fast as possible, and then build on lifetime value and looking at bringing them back and spending more. And then by taking those four instances, we'll look at, should it be display ads, should it be search ads, social media or YouTube. So, first example. We want to create awareness around a new product launch. So, let's say we look at around 50% on display adverts. So we're going to take 50% of our online marketing spend and use display adverts, because what we're going to do is we're looking to place adverts on a greater reach to get that product out there and get some awareness for that product. I would then say 30% on search ads. So for this product, if you've used that Google keyword tool, you will have identified some keywords with intent to buy. So people who are looking for this product with intent to buy. And we want to bring them directly into the page of your site to then make some product sales. And then we may use YouTube and video ads to get that brand out there and give it some rich media and represent the launch of this product out there. An example of this would be, we've got a client who does wallpapers, and they do mural wallpapers, really nice, glossy. They put them in offices, your kids' bedrooms, really look superb. Now with display ads, what we could do is if we think about the audience of buying these, we could place adverts on web pages, on websites that have that audience already. So for example, it could be blogs that talk about design or interior design websites or DIY websites. So an audience that has an interest in what this product launch is about. So that would be a good example of that. Brand awareness. Okay, if you're generally looking to get your brand out there, so if we remember before, business to business, 74% of business to business are looking for brands. They're using brand websites, so we're looking to build our brand online through digital channels. YouTube would be, might take a higher priority. It may be that you're looking around 50, 60% to build that brand. It could be video ads, but again, looking to use rich media. Video is a great way of getting your message across. And you shouldn't really short circuit and shortcut what you're producing for those videos. So, spend some time, because it is brand awareness that you're building. It's your brand you're putting out there. Then if we move down, maybe 30%, 35% on search ads. So people who are maybe searching for your brand or the brand of your products, or even keywords that are exactly what you offer and sell. And then further down the line is display ads. So again, we're placing ads onto websites where your audience already are. So that's getting your brand out there, and you use the rest of your budget on that side of things. Online traffic and transactions. So this is a great one. So if we think an e-commerce site, so let's say we've got an e-commerce site and we're selling products. If it was me, I would look at proportion probably 65, 70% on search ads, so Google AdWords. And I'd be very, very precise in the keywords that I'm targeting. So let's say I sell laptops. I wouldn't target the word laptop. I'd target the word buy Sony laptop FZ10 or Sony laptop Vio. Much more greater intent to act. And I'd probably have a lot of different laptops that I sell with different models and different makes. I'd target those keywords, and I'd land them directly in to the page that talks about them. So that would be search ads. I'd probably then look at about another 20, 25% in my mobile ads, because 53% of UK users are searching daily on smartphones. 53%. That's a lot. That's only going to grow. I don't know if you're anything like me. When EastEnders is on, I'm on my tablet. I'm on my phone. So be aware that there's a difference between search ads and mobile ads and what the adverts look like on different devices. So that's really important. And then the next one is something that I think is brilliant. Retargeted display ads, or some people call it remarketing. Now this will have happened to you. And if it hasn't, I'll be amazed. I'm sure you've all visited a website. And then you leave that website and you start looking around the web. So you might be in research mode and you're checking things out. But those ads start to follow you around. And you're like, how does it know that? Well, that's remarketing. It's like the salesperson tapping you on the shoulder, continuing, say, hey, Dave, come and buy that product off us. Come and buy that off us. That's remarketing. And that's really important, because think about that buying cycle. I'm in research mode. I've been to a site. I'm looking at the service or product. I haven't bought it, but I've gone off and maybe shopping around, or I'm researching again. By having that advert there through remarketing, that's touching people on the shoulder, going, remember me, remember. If you want to buy that wallpaper of New York for the office, remember me, come back. So remarketing is a great tool. And actually, we're seeing more and more of our clients wanting to engage on that, because it is like the salesperson following them around. Okay, audience engagement. So this is an interesting one, because often with social media, people don't often quite get how it's going to add value to their business. And I love it when people say that, because social media is not about the quick win. It's about building brand ambassadors, real engagement, customers who are going to become ambassadors for your brand. You build deeper relationships with them. You can share brand news. You can share competitions, promotions, photos. You can encourage customers to interact with you, like this Google Hangout now. You can have hangouts with your customers. So social media is superb for audience engagement and helping you extend your reach of your brand, because guess what? If I have a good conversation with you, or you give me a really good piece of content, then I could share that in my community, and that's going to extend your reach threefold, fourfold, fivefold. So that's really important. And the other thing with social media is, it's not about sales messages. It's not about that. It's about what we call in our agency contagious content. It's about giving the audience content that they're interested in. It doesn't mean you have to keep selling to them. Don't broadcast sales messages. It will turn them off. We did an infographic for a company on the Tour de France, when the Tour de France was on, and it ended up on Orange.com's website. We didn't phone up Mr. Orange and say, can we put this on your website? It ended up there because we dropped it into an engaged community through social channels, and it gained momentum, and it ended up on Orange.com. So that was pretty cool. Then, display adverts, rich media. Don't be afraid. Don't just think text advertising. You know, think about rich media. Think about video ads. Video ads, you know, it's a really cool, relatively new tool that Google's given us, but it can really pay dividends for you. And actually, it's something that you should be doing. It can give you a competitor advantage. And then YouTube, you know, have a YouTube channel, get videos in there, and encourage conversations. Then it's about putting your plan into action. Because I can stand up here and talk about, okay, well, we should do this, and think about goals and objectives and budgets, but it's about action. The last thing to do is listen to this and not take action. So get your plan in writing, get it down on paper, build a calendar, build a month-on-month calendar. In our agency, we tend to work in 3 months. And one of the reasons why we do that is because we want to really sit down with the client and understand what other events and activities are happening in the business, because we can align them to our online marketing plan, because there may be social media activity that we want to do that backs up an event, for an example. And understand what's required. Don't underestimate this. Who's going to build your search campaigns? Who's going to write your adverts? Who's going to design your banners? Who's going to do your videos? Who's going to manage it? Who's going to optimize the performance as we go along? Don't underestimate. The worst thing you can do is set it off and not manage it and not optimize it. Define metrics for success. What does success look like? We talked before that on digital, everything's trackable. We can see what's being achieved. We can look at the traffic segments and see what the cost is for an inquiry, or the cost is for a sale. So define them. We have a saying in our agency, which is win hard, fail faster. But it's not actually failing, it's learning faster. On digital, we can see that coming through. You can't see that on newspapers. You can't see what radio is doing for you. You can see almost real time what's happening through your digital channels. You know, so then it's about review, learn, and apply. And this is what your updated marketing mix may look like. So what's important here is your website becomes a digital hub for your activity. And you're looking at search advertising, you're looking at social media, video ads, YouTube, display ads. And actually, based on your plan, then you start. And, you know, they'll come back to that again. It's about doing something, but actually, don't be afraid to get started and give it a go. You know, often we get clients and they're unsure, and we say, okay, well, just take a small budget and maybe test it on search ads. People where they write down the buying cycle and maybe just work on a specific product or service you want inquiries for. Because you'll be surprised what will happen. And guess what? The phone will ring and you'll get inquiries. Okay, so we took the very high level there at the 5 steps to your online success. And obviously, there's lots more that we could go through. But what we will be doing, looking to do is have more hangouts on specific elements. Now, what we'd love is for your feedback. Now, if you're looking at the screen, I think it's down the right-hand side, there's a red button there where you can give us feedback, and we'd love to hear what you'd like to know more about. And actually that's where the value comes in this for you. And I think that's really important. And I think what we'll do is we'll have a look at my Nexus 7 and have a look at what questions have come through. So if you bear with me a second. Okay. Okay, some good questions here. Okay. Okay, this is from Joanna. Thanks, Joanna. Lovely to hear from you. So your question is, when launching a new product or website, at what point should you get your marketing strategy planned out? Great question. Great question, Joanna, so thanks for that. In some ways, I suppose, it needs to fit in with your business processes and how you plan your marketing strategy out anyway. But what I would say, if you've got a product launch coming, actually you can use Google Tools to see demand for your product before you launch the product. So I will be looking, first of all, in terms of, I'd look at the research, I'd use Google Keyword Tool to see what types of words and phrases people do type in for the product you are going to launch. And I will begin with the end in mind. So when's the product going to be launched? And then step back and go back month on month to see actually if we need to deliver banners and we need to build campaigns, give yourself enough time frame so you're ready. Don't rush it, do it well in advance. And that could be 2, 3 months, it could be 6 months in advance, depending on what your business cycle is like. Let's have a look at another one. Okay. This is from Rupert. Thanks, Rupert. Thanks for the question. How do you think social will influence search in the future? And should companies be building a social presence now? In short, yes. Social and search are becoming more and more entwined. And an example of that would be, if you take Google Plus for an example, the +1 buttons that you see on websites that you can press. It's like a vote of confidence. It's like someone saying, this is a really good piece of content, or this is a great product. Well, actually, as an advertiser, those +1s can actually show up in your adverts on your search ads, giving your ads more credibility. I think on average, if you've got some +1s in your search ads, your click-through rate of your ads can go up by around 10%. So actually, social and search is already together, and it's only going to become more and more influenced together. So I definitely agree that is something that you should be looking at. Okay, well, I think that's it for questions now. I've really actually enjoyed this, and a couple of things before I go. Keep an eye on your inbox. There's going to be a feedback form, like I say, and also there's going to be an online marketing template for you to have a look at and maybe use in your business. And I think that'll be a really valuable tool to help get you started. And if you want to learn more, then obviously we're going to be doing more Hangouts. Give us your feedback and we can tailor them to what you want to learn more about. But actually get started. And again, if you look at the screen, there's a blue, which is get in touch with a Google advertising expert. Press that button, speak to somebody, and get started. Just do it. Get on with it. So that's me. I'd just like to say thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you've been able to understand me, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks very much.